Good morning, Adelaide. Always wanted to do that after watching one of my favorite movies, Good Morning Vietnam, by the very talented Robin Williams. So let's start the Monday on a positive note. And thank you, Savvy, for walking around in my newly polished floorboards in the boardroom here. So if you hear Savvy, she's walking around. That being said, it was a very cloudy Sunday, strange weather in Adelaide yesterday. If you were driving around in the morning like I was doing my client meetings, you would have seen that there was quite a bit of mist and cloud yesterday. So today I wanted to wrap up from my video last week and talking about the marketplace. Certainly want to be positive in the marketplace, but my thoughts at the moment are that there is a lot of properties on the market for winter time. It's the most that I've seen, properties listed around this time for the last couple of years, which is very interesting because I did predict this. I did say that there is a little bit of a herd mentality in Adelaide, and what's tend to happen now is that the exorbitant COVID-19 prices, so to speak, have been following on, and what that means is that people are trying to capitalize on those high prices. Unfortunately, I feel that it has an adverse effect, whereas now it's flooding the market. In my opinion, you're seeing a lot of top-end properties. They're having to correct their prices. They're sitting on the market. So what gives insight or what gives athletes the ability to see around corners, right? It's chess, it's not checkers, yeah? So having the right advice, having the right agent, and being armed with the right amount of information, or the right amount of information, should I say, is what's going to get you ahead and give you that competitive edge, right? Because what I'm seeing in the media is, agents acting blasé and selling properties in Western Australia, for top dollar, and there was a mice or something like that embedded in the in the carpet, and the state of the property was disgusting. And what they summarized at the end is the potential value of the property being something like 600,000. It was marketed or sold somewhere around the 450 mark. What it shows is that buyers, in my opinion, are somewhat exhausted at the moment, but they will perceive value and they will be attracted to a lot of value. So if you can provide value in the marketplace at the moment, and show that you are being competitive, I think that's what's going to enable you to get a result in what I believe at the moment possibly could be more supply than demand. Now, I could be wrong, but it is interesting to see so many properties up on the Adelaide market at the moment. Will the Adelaide buyers be able to upkeep and keep pushing on with the stock levels at the moment? Look, without a catalyst like an interest rate drop, and I think that's what a lot of people are banking on right now, is an interest rate drop, which I'd hate to burst a lot of bubbles right now. I feel that they're not going to do it anytime soon, probably more like the end of the year, give everyone a happy Christmas bonus, so to speak. But what I'm trying to say is, the media are doing a great job of pumping up the market because it's always in their best interest to do that, in my opinion. And again, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research. But they pump the market. More landlords put their sellers put their properties on the market. There's more revenue. The government are certainly pushing that agenda at this stage. That being because more stamp duty, more transfer costs. The higher the property, the more the fees. Right? It makes sense for them to keep driving the marketplace. But again, it's a capitalist marketplace, and I think that the market has somewhat spoken. And clearly what's happened is, the sellers that weren't ready or, weren't ready to take advice, or have seen sold stickers on boards, are putting their properties on the market. But I was telling, you guys in, the early episodes, again, we're up to episode 33 now, to put that I was advising my clients to put, your properties on the marketplace while the stock levels are low. So let's see what happens, let's progress in a positive fashion, because the rents are clearly, not being affected by the oversupply in the sales market at the moment. So I think it's interesting just seeing the disparity between the two at the moment. They've almost decoupled a little bit. Again, now whether or not they will continue to be in sync with each other, and the market could just speak, and buyers are just going to oversaturate the supply, which they will tell you is low at the moment. I don't feel that it is low. I'm tracking around 16 to 1800 properties on the Adelaide marketplace, from Shido Park all the way up to, let's say, borderline Parry Hills, and Henley Beach to Stirling Aldgate. So that's sort of the pocket that I'm monitoring. I'm not looking at regional South Australia at the moment. Again, every property is going to be held on its own merits, and I think that's probably a good segue into the next topic of discussion, and I want to try and keep it short. But I feel that properties that are in high demand, whether it be a Queen Anne villa or an excellent renovation in a wonderful area, those blue chip properties will continue to somewhat be resilient. And it just means that the prices are going to continue to be pushed up. So when you're buying or looking at purchasing a property, I think you have to certainly look at your resale value. And again, if it's a popular item that a lot of people want, per se, let's say reasonable size block that's potentially subdividable in a good area within close proximity to the Adelaide CBD, that's always going to fetch high price, because your mum and dad investors are looking at that. Potentially first home buyers, maybe even downsizers. So it has a wide spectrum of buyers, right? Target market. So, those properties are going to obviously do very well. But again, you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to outbid. So again, you're paying a higher price. Again, the government benefits from that. If you get what you want and that's your dream property, then, so be it. But I feel that, just my opinion, I feel that, that it's come off the boil a little bit with the buyers at the moment. I feel that they've been somewhat exhausted, and without a catalyst, I think that unless sellers are being competitive in the marketplace at the moment, and agents are not perceiving good value, because I think that's the key here, is showing that there's value in that property. I think that's what's going to move things forward. So, in a bit of a summary, I'm going to be watching the marketplace I'm going to be, just observing it in a objective fashion, not a negative fashion, because I'm the eternal optimist. It's half glass full, not half glass empty. And let's see what happens. So be positive. Again, if you want to DM me, or you have a property in mind, or you want some advice, been doing it for 20 years. I think it's super important to choose the right agent, and get the right advice. And again, it's only an opinion. We all have them. None of this is financial advice, as I've said. So if it is something specific that you want to discuss with me, direct message me. I'll try and get to you as quickly as possible, and give you my neutral opinion on whatever it is in property that you're interested in talking about. So have a great Monday. Let's be positive. The weather is certainly crisp, but clear blue skies today. So go and get it, and stay classy, Adelaide. Take care. Bye.